to the public. That's convicting.
Yeah, that's cool. Go on then.
Central role in what?
Did you read the Yeah, the article right
Can I just say that, you know, if I was sort of reading... Okay, can I just say, firstly, if I was just flicking through the paper and I read that is a headliner. Oh, Christ, it's not alleged.
Could you let me explain?
No, when I've just finished, I will. Right. It's not an alleged Central Row. Man shot dead by police had Central Row. That is a statement. That isn't an alleged Central Row.
Can you let me explain?
Yeah. Oh, well, now.
I don't write the headlines.
Okay, that's fair.
What happens is, it's true. Reporters write stories. Somebody else will do the picture. Somebody else does the headline.
Yeah.
That's the sub-editor's job, right? You'll be aware that we've written stories on the protest before.
Yeah.
There's no, like, we're not in any conspiracy with GMP or anything like that.
Sure. If you are,
he might not be, but members of the same paper might be.
We think different.
100%, right? Let me tell you what's happened here. That is what they use as style to say alleged. Quote marks.
Yeah, but I don't know that. To me, that's saying he's in the middle of that.
That he was shot dead, regardless of whether that's just what the prosecution say. The jury.
Yeah, but it should
He can't
say
defend
what the prosecution have said.
Well, they can't fit that in that space.
That's wrong. Why don't you get all the families together and let them give their views?
Because if I get all the families together while that trial is going on, they'll drag me in the dock for contempt of court, and I'll be in the cell.
What's that then? That's indicting Anthony.
Yeah, but you're putting something about a man who can't even answer for his own.
Let me explain.
He's dead now. He's been executed by policemen.
You've just said that you don't like the headline. Somebody's written the headline. That is a headliner, and as you will know, that many years ago when it was the Hillsborough disaster, the Guildford, the Birmingham City, whoever, there was huge headlines, right? And many people will look, and they do, and they look, and say, oh yeah, oh right, yeah. And then, it's only taken the time to actually read the article right through. Not only do you have a responsibility for the article, you have a responsibility for the headline.
Let me explain. Every newspaper in the country does this.
But it doesn't make it right now, does it? No, it's not.
Can I just say something? Can I just say something? Right, I'm Anthony's cousin. Yeah. Now, when I was the first day of the trial on Monday, the judge said to the jury, "Do not connect Anthony Granger with this trial." Right?
I'll mention it.
Just wait. Let me finish. The judge said, "Do not Google Anthony Granger."
He did.
Right. Why did he say that?
Let me explain.
No.
Why did he say that?
No, wait.
Let me explain what's happened, right?
Just let me finish 1 minute.
With respect, I completely understand your position as reading relatives, right? But I approach things, right, as a professional, right? And the reality of it is this is a court case.
Yeah.
I can't go into the background of what's happened with Anthony Granger while the court case is ongoing.
That's fair enough.
Because the reality of it is, the defence, right, don't want, nobody involved in this case wants to hear the background and the circumstances of why Anthony was shot. Because they would argue they will prejudice the case.
How did it prejudice the case?
Yeah, but can I just start
the case against Anthony's murderers?
I know, but when the judge said to the jury, "Do not Google Anthony Granger," but you're allowed to put it in the paper for everyone to read. But the jury will be able to read it.
The jury have been warned to disregard anything that's said. That is not in contempt of court.
Oh yeah, and they do that, don't they?
It's not in contempt of court. It's not in contempt of court because what's happened was the jury were told you're going to hear about Anthony Granger.
Yeah, but all they've done through the case is that Anthony Granger this, Anthony Granger that.
Because he's not here to defend himself.
Anthony Granger is the ringleader. That's all you're getting across there.
That's what you're getting across there.
And all the evidence they've got no evidence whatsoever. They've got
I've got nothing else to work with.
I know, but what I'm saying is, in this trial now,
well, it's been told
report the truth.
They've got no proof.
It hasn't been told that. This is exactly what they've been told. The jury was told by Judge Henshaw that the alleged activities of Mr. Granger would feature in the case, but they were warned that the circumstances surrounding the death are not relevant to any issue.
But you have a responsibility for that headline.
I didn't write the headline.
You need to go back to your...
But you've written the other stuff.
Because your name is the one, it's only your name associated with this.
Right, just let me talk.
But what you need to know is that I haven't got...
I know you've not.
I'm not taking any
But can I just say this?
And when the trial is over, I'd be very interested in speaking
Well,
to you.
come to me, no problem. What I'm going to say to you is...
As the trial is going on, all I've got to work with is the words that are in there. And if you look at this, there isn't one word said in there that wasn't said in there.
No, I understand.
And that's what all a court reporter can do, because otherwise I'll end up in the
I know, but can I just say that originally, Anthony, Totten, Rimmer and Travis were all up for armed robbery. Right? Originally.
Yeah.
Now then, it's been dropped now to conspiracy to rob.
Yeah.
Now they're going to try and drop it to conspiracy to steal or conspiracy to burglary. So the charges have gone from a conspiracy to armed robbery straight down to burglary or steal.
Yeah. But yet the headlines and the stories that are in the...
Blaming a dead man that can't defend himself.
What you have to do is you have to bear with us as the evidence unfolds. Because at the beginning, what you get is what the prosecution say. Then you'll start hearing what the defence say. And what you'll find is that information will leak out day by day that presents the full picture. Obviously, when you look at this from your perspective, it doesn't look good. But what you'll see is how it unfolds. Like today, for example, they were told there were no weapons in the car. You know, so little details will come out day by day. Do you know what I mean? Just bear with us. But I mean, like I say...
Yeah, but do you know what? Can I just say something as well? Can I just say something as well? Do you know what they say there's no weapons in the car? When they searched, they went round to the houses and searched the houses, right?
Yeah.
They weren't looking for weapons, they were looking for a USB
memory stick,
which had information of the armed response on. Sensitive information. If you look at the police statements, in the statements, they're not looking for weapons, they're looking for that USB stick.
Yes. But the general public reading that article, they're just going to automatically... No, the general public are going to automatically assume...
What the general public are going to assume from reading that.
They will be hearing about it.
And don't forget,
just because a man's alleged to be involved in a robbery doesn't mean that he deserves...
So,
yeah, but he can't answer for himself because he's dead.
So, I mean, he can't answer for himself.
So, when the defence is putting their argument forward, and you will take a quote
behind Medin.
When the defence is putting their argument forward, whoever does your headline will take a quote from the defence. For example, there were no weapons found in the car as big as
that headline.
I would hope so, but I can't tell